Well, it's time once again for today's Breakfast Bite, and I have the privilege of welcoming Pete, Baker and Paula from Life Church Lancashire. Hi guys, how you doing?
Morning. How you doing?
Great to see you. And I'm looking forward to what you have to bring us for today's Breakfast Bite, continuing in the theme of heroes.
Yes, yeah. So we've been for a few weeks now looking at heroes of the faith. I think so far we talked about Barnabas, David, and Mary. And then last week, Tommy joined me, and Tommy talked about Jonah.
Yeah.
And so I've only asked Paula just not moments ago, but fairly recently. But Paula's one of my heroes. Absolutely incredible person. Works with our children and our families in our church, and also does lots with young adults. And we've done lots together over the years with missions work, training young adults and working with young people and working with students. So I just thought, yeah, it'd be really, I'd love to know something about who one of Paula's heroes of the faith is, and hopefully it'll be encouraging and inspiring for all of you as well. So yeah, Paula, tell us about one of your heroes of the faith.
So I think for me is definitely Hannah or Hannah. I don't know, depending on your accent. In First Samuel, and it's just, I love her story because it's a beautiful kind of a transformation of the heart. So she is constantly praying that the Lord will remember her. But in the end, you see that what she needed was to remember who God was. So she needed to remember God instead of just him remembering her. And it's just interesting to see because in her story, Hannah had so many good things already happening in her life. She had an incredible husband that treated her so well, that had a heart for the Lord. He would worship, he would go, he wouldn't miss the sacrifices, the days that he has to go. He treated her so well. She had a good home. She had a good life, but she could not focus on that. She would only focus on the things that she didn't have. And she couldn't be grateful to the Lord for all the things that he gave her already, because she was only focusing on what she didn't have and not having children. And the things only changed for her when she went into God's presence. And like she said on verse 15, she says, I'm pouring out my soul to the Lord. And she is so desperate and she is so crying, and she got to the bottom of it, and she just goes to God. And only when she does that, things start to change. And it's not even when God gives her her heart's desire that she actually changes. Right when she finishes that prayer and she leaves and she eats again, and her face doesn't look sad anymore. And only after that, for a long period of time, God actually gives her Samuel that goes and does so many incredible things. But it was how she stopped carrying that weight on her shoulders of everything is so bad, but God changed her perspective. And she started being grateful for what she had at the moment, and trusting that God was enough, that he was going to look after everything else for her. And I think that sometimes this is what we need to do. Sometimes this is what we need to just go to God and pour our heart and our soul in his presence, and remind ourselves that he is enough, that he has enough for us right now. He says he's never going to let us, he is looking after everything that we need, everything that we need to live and live well. And he gives everything at the right time. So that was just a reminder that we need to remind ourselves of who God is, and that, never have a heart of, that is grateful. Yeah. So Hannah is my story of transformation.
That's so good. Thanks, Paula. Amazing.
Yeah, excellent. And Hannah's such a really interesting character. Her story, the way that God gives her a child in the end. But you're absolutely right, of course. A lot of the time, God doesn't necessarily give us what we want until we let go of it. And we come before him and we surrender that to him, and come to a place where we're actually okay with not having it. Because that's more important, isn't it? Our heart's right with God.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is it.
Really great. Well, thanks so much, Paula, for that thought. And Hannah, of course, a really interesting character. So, yes, fantastic. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you. Have a great day, everyone.
Did you know Pure 24/7 Radio has a shop? Well, we do. you can buy merchandise while supporting the work that we do here. Simply head over to www.pure247radio.org/shop. That's www.pure247radio.org/shop.